Okay, good. So, a little bit about AGS. AGS Data Systems has been around for a little over 24 years, and I've been working in this industry for a little over 30 years, long before my hair was white. And we are really specialists in workforce development, case management applications, helping organizations who are in workforce, who are in employment and training, who are in education and training, and working with lots and lots of DOL and EDA grants for compliant data entry and compliance reporting. We are very much known around the country as a high-tech, high-touch organization. Pride ourselves on, understanding grants, being subject matter experts on a lot of these grants, but at the same time having a very strong infrastructure for customer support. And we work with a variety of different types of organizations, large and small, nonprofits, workforce boards, lots and lots and lots of community colleges and four-year universities, and the like. So we are um, uh, well known throughout the country. For Good Jobs Challenge, we have used our no-code platform called AGS Prime to that is truly a no-code environment. You do not need to be a coder at all. It's very visual, very fill in fields and drag and drop, super easy to use. And we have used our no-code platform to configure out some very complex compliance driven case management and reporting systems for many, 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 many years and lots of different grants, including Good Jobs Challenge, where we have the participant tracking, the sectoral partnership tracking, the staff organizations, the training providers, the employers, and of course, participant tracking, all baked into one integrated application that is a logical business process, as I've said, for intake and program registration and completion and credentials and employment and services. This is a very services oriented grant. And be able to, at the end of the quarter, before the 30 days is up, click the magic button and produce your quarterly report for EDA. So we have used our own product to configure out this very complex grant, is the point. So with all of that said, we can really fast track deployments. We've been able to really help a number of organizations launch and go live for Good Jobs Challenge. We have an excellent track record supporting federal grants, and we provide monthly user groups of a variety of different grants, scaling apprenticeship, closing the skills gap, um, rural healthcare, apprenticeship building America. We're going to launch, Good Jobs Challenge. We have a domain administrator user group once a month. So we do lots and lots of these kind of live webinars for our customers all over the country. So as I mentioned, our compliant application for Good Jobs includes the ability to track participants, that individual record level data regarding the participants. You're able to manage your employers, and for Good Jobs, that's both employers, that's sectoral partners, that's your training providers and their training programs. And all of the attributes associated with the reporting requirements for those particular entities are all baked into this application. And of course, people come to us largely, very frequently, because of the difficult reporting requirements that are part of these grants. And EDA is really no different. Um, and so we have been very successful so far in being able to create the quarterly report and other reports that you will see soon. We work hard to keep the reports up to date as EDA and census make changes. I know they've just recently made some changes regarding sectoral partnerships, sectoral partners, and wraparound services. So we're typing fast to get those changes integrated into the reports. But that's part of what we do for our customers is we try to stay on top of the grants, the compliance changes, the reporting requirement changes, and we keep the application up to date for you so you don't have to worry about that. So with all that said, as sort of a quick introduction, I'm going to swizzle over to my application and demonstrate the application itself. I think I mentioned this. I'm in a hotel in New York City this week, and I don't have all of my regular infrastructure with me, so I just have to kind of play with what I've got. So thank you for that. So I think you are seeing my AGS Prime screen. This is our template. So what you're seeing here is the baseline template that our customers use. And you see we have a menu across the top. We call these modules. I've logged in as an administrator so that I can show off all of the features. But as an aside, all of our customers are hosted on Amazon Web Services or AWS. All of our customers have their own dedicated virtualized web server. So it's a single tenant environment for the analysts on the call, meaning there's no commingling of our customers' data into one sort of monolithic database, if you will. Which is considered a multi-tenant environment. We are not that. We are a single tenant environment. All of our customers have their own domain names, therefore completely hard-walled and segregated. In addition to that, the application itself and the domain itself has layers and layers of security, pardon me, including I'm an administrator, so we have user roles that each application user is assigned to one or more roles, dictating what part or parts of the application they are allowed to see and work with. As an administrator, I see the admin module where there's a fair amount of application configuration that is allowed in our templates. The common denominator for Good Jobs Challenge is in place, but every grant has some unique differences regarding occupations, training programs, obviously sectoral partners, NAICS codes, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those kinds of things you can buff and polish, specifically for your grant within the confines of a template. So we stay compliant. In addition to that, we have something that's called organization level security. So if I click on the participant management module, just for the fun of it, we can see that we've got in my organization, my staff organization column here, I've got staff organization data, participant data from staff organization 1, staff organization 2, and staff organization 3. As an application administrator, I always see all of the data because I'm the administrator. But each of your organizations for whom there will be data being entered, they will log in and they will only see data that belongs to their organization. So everything is completely segregated. Organization level security, very important feature. All of our customers for years are, these are usually consortium based types of projects. So I'm just get a quick cough drop here. So in addition to that, I just want to jump over to the reports tab really quickly and and run this report called the Good Jobs Challenge Data Collection Instrument. So when we click on reports, We see we have reports and queries and dashboards. The template itself always comes with a handful of reports, both compliance-based reports and queries. Data downloads for your analytics and using your own tool. So let's go ahead and run this data instrument report. And this is exactly what our customers see. I'm going to select the year of 2023, and I'll select with one of our quarters. I'll select quarter three. That'll be the next reporting quarter. Now, again, this is my demo database. I just have demo data. I will open this up. I think pardon me, I just need to share this out, I believe. There we go. So this is the report coming out of Prime. And so what we have been able to do is recreate every single worksheet. Training provider is the far left one. Participant database, institutional information, etc., etc. For all of these worksheets, earn and learn and salaries, etc., etc. And what EDA has allowed us to do, allowed our customers to do, is by taking this report that is downloaded as an Excel workbook from Prime to copy and paste each and every worksheet as you see the data in each worksheet, starting from the far left, with the training provider, starting here and copying and pasting and working all the way through the worksheets into the EDA report itself. They are not yet allowing our report or any other third-party report to be able to be accepted by EDA, but they have allowed for each worksheet to be copied and pasted into their report. And so we keep this report in line with their updates. They've just made some updates that we were notified of about a week or so ago. So we're still need to make the updates for the sectoral partnership and the wraparound services, but we are aware of those and are just making those changes now. So that's what our report looks like here in Prime. And it is absolutely intended to look like and behave like their report. So I think you're seeing my screen. Hold on one second. Oh, I wanted to show you my template. There we go. Okay. So from the other reports that we see, we have queries and services and demographics. I'll just run this demographics report really quickly, just to give you an idea of the kinds of data visualizations and dashboards that can be created directly from Prime in a no-code environment. You can create your own pivot tables with your data, line charts, bar charts, just by using block counters here, depending upon what it is you're trying to report on. Having your data in a no-code platform like Prime is very easy to build your own reports. Sure, you can also export the data using a query, which just exports every field from every form whenever you want to out to your own favorite reporting tool like Excel. Everybody has Excel, or Crystal Reports, or Tableau, or Microsoft BI, or whatever your favorite tool is. That's fine too. It's your data. We simply host it for you. If you like the data visualization and report building capabilities in Prime, you have access to all of that to do things like this if you want to. So that's kind of the reports. I always like to start with these kinds of webinars with, the output first, because that's really why people come to us to help solve this. We've got to get these reports off, and I don't want to use an Excel spreadsheet because it's just too complicated to keep every little cell up to date. So I like to start these kinds of sessions by, the reports first. So we've done that. Let me just take a step back, if I may, and we'll look at the participant management module and kind of jog through this quickly so you can get a sense of what the data input looks like. We have taken great care to build forms in a logical, I think intuitive business process for case management with the fields, the business logic, the business rules, that is to say, the validation, the allowed values, et cetera, et cetera. They were part of the NOFO and as part of our many years of experience in supporting these kinds of projects that we know customers really want to be able to have data at their fingertips for analytics. So let me just kind of introduce you. Everybody's seen fields and everybody's seen forms, but I would like to at least share with you what it looks like in Prime as our customers are using this tool around the country, and give you a real flavor for what it is they're doing. I'm in my demo. I only have a handful of customers, as you can see, but I'm going to open up, and we're seeing all of my existing customers in the system listed alphabetically by last name. If I resort this, I guess. And that's just how this particular view is designed. So I can open up Buddy Holly. I'll open up his case folder, this little green icon. It allows me to open up his case folder. He's an existing participant. We have his profile. So this is really synonymous with me getting up out of my chair, walking over to the file cabinet, opening up the H drawer, right, and pulling out the manila file folder for Holly, Buddy, and walking back to my desk and opening it up. And in it, I see these sections, paper clipped, coded, whatever, however you do it, sections of different types of documents. And you can see in most of these sections, I have one or two or more pieces of electronic paper, right, already in my system on behalf of Buddy Holly. And over on the left over here, in my Create New, I see other documents that I can create depending upon where we are in the business process. So a participant comes in the door either through self-registration, very widely used, by the way, or through, um, job fairs or invitations or whatever, walking in the door, whatever, however that works. And we always start with demographics. So we get a sense of who they are, which organization they belong to, all right? So we know we can manage organization level security, the sectoral partnership associated with that staff organization, and just some basic demographic information about this participant. Because we've been doing this for a million years, you may see some data here that is not exactly always required by this grant, but we know is very pertinent for many of these grants and these kinds of projects, including good jobs, particularly for those grantees who are focused on some DEI considerations for their grants, amongst other things. So we see this start of all data entry is the participant profile. And then we're going to enroll this person in one or more training programs over time. And as I open up this record, we can begin to see fields that you are probably now, as the grant is maturing, fields that you are familiar with. So we have a training provider drop-down list that has related programs in this field. So as I select training provider B, for example, my training program name changes, and I need to fill it in with whatever is available from a training program name that has been entered by the administrators in the admin module to support clean data entry. So your staff users don't have to guess, one, they don't have to keystroke in, two, making data analytics a mess. And as admins, you're constantly on top of the training programs and your training providers, making it easy for Prime to manage the business rules around what should be appropriate data entry. You can see that when a Prime form has a required field with the asterisk and the little pink that shows up, if that field isn't filled in, the Prime form will not allow you to save it. So where we can, with known business logic, we do not allow data entry to succeed, if you will, to occur when there are known business logic errors on a form. It's a great visual to point that out. At some point, our participants are going to hopefully achieve credentials. We want to track those credentials. Credentials are always associated with a program name, so we have that breadcrumb navigation for all of our analytics down the road. We're going to track our employment. You begin to really see fields here that are required and that are driven by this grant even more. So we'll select networking. These are the two programs this participant happens to be enrolled in. The employment associated with that program. The employer list is actually populating automatically from your employer module. So again, we want to eliminate bad keystroking and make it easy for your data entry people to get it right and get it clean. Start dates for promotions. I'm just going to put this in so you can begin to see what this says. If this is a good job, yes or no, right? Job title, VP, how's that? The NAICS code, employment type. Again, you can see my save button is still not live. I can say full-time, and now my form is ready. If this happens to be an earn and learn employment, we now have a conditionally required field to respond to the earn and learn employment model. So I'm going to select that as an internship. If I had said this was other, I can continue to have an additionally required field, etc., etc. I'll just say internship and make that go away and save this. So it's very easy for data entry. I'll open up the participants case folder again, view that, and we really begin to see the ease with which we can enter this yummy data. This is a very heavily services-oriented grant. I want to show this to you really quickly. Again, the services are all related back to a program for your internal analytics, and of course for good jobs reporting. We have already pre-filled for you the career and job prep and wraparound services based on what was documented in the NOFO itself. So that's already been done for you. We do allow you to add your own if you have other services that you'd like to get added and want to be able to track. It is here where we help you keep track of those costs of those services as much as you are able to do. And we use that as part of the overall computations for the cost of participation for each participant. We can create case notes. We can create participant attachments, as many as you want, any type of attachment, PDFs, JPEGs for ID purposes, very common. Um, Timesheets, those sorts of sort of standard things. The employer management module, just very quickly, is architected very similarly, and it is so. I'm going to open up a different one. And it is architected that way so that it is very easy to cross train and cross use, depending upon your team's makeup and structure. So again, very CRM like, where we have an employer profile, employer contacts, your electronic Rolodex, if you will, keeping track of employer activities, participant services, job fulfillments, job openings. If you want to keep track of employer investments here as opposed to a separate spreadsheet, you certainly can for in-kind or direct financial assistance. The forms, just to give you a quick look, very simple, very intuitive, very straightforward. To be able to gather and track basic information about your employers as well. So I just want to do one last thing before we sort of close this out and keep you all on time. I know everybody's super busy. I'm just going to show you what our self-registration form looks like, sort of coming out of the box, so to speak. It's quite typical for our customers to swizzle this around with some additional fields. Of course, you're going to have your own logo here. You're not going to have AGS Prime. And just maybe some help text here and there. And maybe even I'm scrolling to the very bottom. So all of these fields automatically populate and create a participant's profile. So we saw that participant profile, Buddy Holly. He may very well have come in through self-reg, automatically created that. Somebody reviews that document, a staff person, to make sure it wasn't Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. And now he's into the queue for being potentially enrolled in the program. But before that, we have this self-registration process where you can see here at the bottom of the form. It is very common for our customers to require one or more attachments of various types of documents. You will undoubtedly have disclaimer information about the grant itself and the use of the data, and that they consent, and a consent date and a consent signature. You may have other release type language. We have a couple of customers who have a media release block and explicit consent section. All of that is completely configurable with this application. So we're not talking about deep development cycles here. We're talking about configuration changes very quickly. Oftentimes in meetings with our customers, we're going through some of those iterative changes on the fly and doing that buffing and polishing right up front. But I wanted to give you a look at what the self-registration form looks like as it sort of comes out of the box with Prime, if you will, just to give you that sense of, this is really easy. This is really not rocket science. Look at these forms. They're intended to be intuitive and clear and concise and straightforward. With that said, I'm going to jump back over here to my screen. I want to make sure you're seeing this. You all are so patient and nice with me today. Thank you so much. That's sort of the live demo. I like to kind of get through some of the soup to nuts stuff in a quick jog through to give you a sense of what it is and sometimes what it isn't, so you can get a real sense of what it is we're proposing for our solution and what many of your colleagues around the country are using. What does the implementation look like? Pretty straightforward, and we like it that way. Again, all of our customers have their own domain name. So to get started, you give me your domain name, something like susanharden.agsprime.net, right? Or something straightforward, .agsprime.net. I typically don't recommend the project name itself, but an organization's name to give you a more broad footprint for being able to use the platform to build additional applications for other grants if you want to. So it's a real return on investment opportunity that I really strive for with my customers to have them take advantage of the platform. So I need your domain name. Give us a couple of days to get that turned around. The application template is added. We schedule your training with your application administrators. Every organization needs to have at least one. We don't care how many you have, but there's a practical limit. But you want to have a couple, three application administrators who are trained in everything about the application. And there's some homework in that admin module for tweaking up some of those catalogs. I do all of the admin trainings. I've been doing this for years. I will guide you through best practices, answer your business process questions, and teach you the application. Okay. I like to do those trainings with at least two, sometimes more, hour and a half to 2 hour sessions. So we end up, 4 to 6 hours in application admin training, not because it's hard, but because very often those conversations kick off more business process questions and some process improvement things that come up. So we talk through all of those. And then you're ready. You're done. That's all there is to it. Get your end user training scheduled. Oftentimes it's a pilot group, or depending upon the size and complexity of a consortium, you may pick, one or two or three or four, whatever, starter organizations who you think are, really in tune with the grant, really in tune with technology, understand, case management stuff, et cetera, et cetera, and then kind of go in concentric circles out from there. It really depends. And you might, do a training a day or a training a week and really get your end users on board as quickly as possible. I will help you with those end user trainings. I'm always game to assist and make sure that the trainings go well. And then you're ready for go live production. End user training, typically a one training, one session. Typically, if I'm involved, they're usually about an hour and 15-minute training. So none of this is complicated. And I hope this slide and this conversation conveys that it's really pretty straightforward because we've already built the template. It's really, there, and we just need to, walk you through what needs to be tweaked per your particular proposal within the confines of the compliance template, and get your end users and you're ready to go. So thank you very much for being here. Let me go back to, this is my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me. We are a complete work from home company, so it's always easier, as for those of you who are doing the same, to get my attention via email. I'll just be honest. So shoot me an email. And if this is intriguing, if you have more questions, if you would like to bring some other folks together and take a look at it, or if you just simply want to get together privately and ask more questions or go through something more slowly, I'm totally game for it. So just let me know how we can help, and I will be happy to assist. Now, I think there may be a chat here. Let me see. Oh, okay. Very good. Well, thank you, and I will let you go. I am 2 minutes over. I apologize. Thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciate you taking some time and giving me some of your time today. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.